Hi, this is Shannon Tidwell, Garden Girl at Two Peas in a Bucket, and I'm back with another 2013 and 2013 video for you. This week, I'm working on a layout from an adult night out to see the Bruno Mars concert, and it was such a great night out. I wanted to make sure to convey the fun time that we had on my layout. So you can see that it's going to be a bright and shiny layout with lots of sparkles and lots of fun things going on. I only had a couple Instagram pictures from the night and a few things I collected from the concert to work with. So we're going to start with a corrugated background. I really love using these as a background because they give a nice bit of texture without being too overpowering. It also has a nice weight to it, so you can kind of build onto it. I've also got a few things that I collected from the night here. I've got some confetti that whenever it fell from the ceiling, I opened up my purse and collected some. And so I'm thinking gold is going to be one of my main colors, but I'd also like to add in a little bit of neon pink just for fun. And I'm going to go ahead and start with painting this frame. I thought it would go well with my page. I like using the frames when I have Instagram photos, and I'm not really sure how I'm going to use it yet, but I just know that it needs a little sprucing up before I put it on the page. I want it to have a glimmer. So I've just squirted on some gold sparkly acrylic paint. Couldn't find a paintbrush, so I'm just going to use my finger to smear it around, and that way I can work on the rest of the page while this dries. I'm putting it on pretty thick. So I'm skipping back to this frame just to go over it one more time with some paint. I wanted it to really be covered with the gold glitter paint, so I'm going back over it one more time, another thick layer of the paint, again applied just with my finger. And then I thought it would be fun to add a few extra sparkles to it. So I've got some tinsel glitter from American Crafts, and I'm just going to kind of pinch it on, not really pour it because I don't want too much. I just kind of want it pinched on in a couple places, maybe a little heavier, kind of gathering in some of the corners. But that'll just add an extra fun little sparkle to my frame. Already moving on to my second prompt, and that's to bring the party back to my page. And as I mentioned a second ago, I've got this confetti that fell from the ceiling at the concert. And so I'm going to figure out a way to attach this to the page in kind of a fun way so that it looks like it's falling from the top of the page down in just kind of a random manner. So I think that's how I'm going to incorporate this pink thread. I'm actually going to use it to sew these pieces of confetti onto the page. And I'm just using just simple hand stitch and an X pattern. So just really simple, not really worrying about where they are on the page. I really like how with the corrugated background, once you do the stitching, it kind of makes them pop off the background a little bit with that extra bit of texture underneath there. So I'm just going to work on getting all these attached to the page. All right, so I've got the confetti attached to the page, and I kept them all on the left side of the page, kind of falling from the top, and then I added a bit of polka dot pattern paper over there on the right-hand side. And I left it kind of a neutral pattern paper, I guess, not too wild. I just wanted a little extra oomph over there. Now I'm just kind of getting a picture in my head where things might go, so I can kind of start picturing where this page is headed. And I decided that I need a frame of sorts around the page. And normally I would machine stitch my pages, but I've experienced before that the sewing machine doesn't really do well with the corrugated paper. It kind of flattens it out. So I'm just going to hand stitch all the way around the page. Okay, you can see that I've completed the stitching all the way around the edge. It's pretty subtle, but the bright pink thread does give it a nice pop. So now I've decided that I'm going to add a little bit extra into my confetti over there. Just add some kind of smaller pieces in with it. I thought about adding sequins or something different like that, but then I thought that it'd be simple and fun just to add some little strips of glitter tape. So I'm just cutting them kind of randomly, snipping some off, and then it's self-adhesive, so I'll just peel off the back and stick them on kind of randomly around the page, just like the confetti already is. Okay, so here's where the party on the page gets a little wilder. I found some fringe border that I had from my daughter's birthday, and the gold matched perfectly with the confetti that I already had on the page. So I cut a section of it and adhered it to the back of the page so it kind of flips over the top there. I'm adding a little adhesive to the top to help hold the fringe in place so it doesn't get too out of control, but I do want them to kind of float around freely. Now, if you don't have any extra fringe banners laying around your house, you could always use some fringe scissors and make your own fringe. Okay, so now I'm going to start putting together my photos and the frame that I glittered and kind of see what else I'm going to put on this page and how I'm going to fit it together. I do know that I'm going to need to put my photos on pop dots. That way they'll kind of pop off the page a little bit, especially with that fringe back behind them. They need to have a little bit of height behind them. So I'm just playing with things right now, trying to figure out what the best arrangement is going to be. I think that I'm going to take out the photo that has the picture of the ticket since I'm going to be actually using the tickets on the page. I don't really need both. So I'm thinking that this frame can kind of double as my little pocket here on the page to hold the tickets and maybe a few other embellishments. So that's going to bring us to our next prompt, to collage your photos and embellishments together. I always like to combine things in threes, and since I'm not using 3 photos, I'm using that extra frame as my third there to kind of collage everything together. I'm also going to use the frame as the base for my title, and it's just going to be simple BRUNO with these glitter letter stickers from American Crafts. So I'm going to attach them there to the bottom of the frame, and that way they'll kind of pop up off the page a bit still, and I can still slide some other things back behind my frame. I felt like I needed a little bit of contrasting color back behind the title to help it stand out, so I'm sliding a little journaling tag from Elle's Studio back there. It's got kind of a chalkboard background on it, I guess, and then kind of moving those tickets around, adhering them down so everything stays in place. And then I found this fun feather by Bella Boulevard, and I thought it would be cute. And also kind of tie in the pink stitching that I use, just kind of pull that pink in another place on the page. And of course, a few more jewels couldn't hurt. And when I do collage or groupings like that together, I sometimes like to put photo corners on the outside corners, kind of help keep everything framed together. I felt like I needed another embellishment there above the title, but I didn't want anything too bright or stand out-ish, I guess. So I went kind of with the chalk theme again, so it would kind of mix in with that chalkboard looking die cut behind it. I'm using this metal badge by Fancy Pants. It just says happy. And I love this diagonal stripe, and this is just the packaging from the Fancy Pants metal badge that I just used. I'm going to use it as my journaling card. So I went ahead and trimmed it down to 4x4 because I thought that would mix nicely with my photos that I've got there. And right now I'm just kind of thinking of where I could put it, how I could fit it on the page. If you'll notice when I adhere things down, I kind of leave a lot of leeway behind them, and the pop dots can pop off the page pretty easily. So if I want to move things around, I can. And that way I have the ability to add things in different places. And then after I'm done, I can go back and add reinforced adhesive if I need to. So right now I'm just kind of thinking of where would be the best place to slide my journaling card in. So I think I found a good spot. So now I'm going to go ahead and add the journaling. I'm using a metallic marker by Sharpie, and I'm going to add a border with it around the edge before I write my journaling, just to give it a little extra definition, I guess, whenever it slid in there on the page. And there's the journaling all finished, and go ahead and slide it into the page nice and snug. Okay, I'm just about finished with this page, but I felt like I was missing something on the left side there. And I found this fun banner by Glitz Design, but as you can see, the colors do not go with my layout at all. So what I'm going to do is break out that trusty gold paint again, and I'm going to paint it. It is going to take, I think I did 3 coats, pretty thick coats of this gold paint on the banner to sufficiently cover up the yellow and the blue. Again, I'm not using a brush, I'm just going to use my finger and smear it around there, make a good mess with it. So this is going to be my last prompt of the layout, is whenever you come across a die cut that works with your page but doesn't because the colors are wrong, just change the color of it. Gold glitter paint has become my best friend. So I put some pop dots underneath the banner to kind of give it a little bit of lift up off the page and stuck it on there. And I think it adds a nice little fun touch to the left side of the page there. I think that wraps up my layout for 213 and 2013 this week. I hope you've had fun, and I hope that you will also bring a little party to your page. So you can participate in the challenges from any of the layouts this month and have a chance to win a gift certificate from 2Peas So your 4 prompts this week were to use a corrugated background, to collage your photos and embellishments together, to bring the party back to your page, and to paint the die cuts to fit your needs. Thanks a lot for hanging out with me. This is Shannon Tidwell, Garden Girl at 2Peas in a Bucket. Have a great week. Bye.